So what are QOE reports? In short, they stand for quality of earnings. There's no one definition of QOE reports, and there's no standard content in my experience. And part of the advantage of QOE reports is that they can be tailored to meet clients' needs and user needs. Generally, QOE reports are aimed at providing the client or user some comfort in assessing potential future operational cash flows based on normalizing historical results and other diligence procedures. Said another way, the objective is to assess the degree to which an entity's reported earnings reliably represent its underlying sustainable economic performance or its true profitability.
What I would say really the key difference between the two is the objective. When you're completing a quality of earnings report on the buy side, it's really to help the buyer uncover risks as well as get comfort on what's the sustainability of revenue and earnings. Whereas when you're working on the sell side, the seller's just really looking to sort of optimize or maximize their price and present everything in a real positive light. So that's what I would say is the key difference between completing the reports on both the buy side versus the sell side.
When you think about what a quality of earnings report or financial due diligence is ultimately trying to accomplish, we're really trying to ascertain the sustainability of future cash flows. And while history is interesting and can inform that baseline, it's not always relevant. And so you always have to think about whether the past truly equals future and the ability to align those cash flow profiles from the historical 2 years and trailing 12 months into that forecast period. And evaluator perspective is really helpful when it comes to that. When you think about findings and how that quality of earnings report ultimately gets used and how you can try and create value arbitrage, you can really look into the definitive agreement and the SPA and look at the net working capital definitions, make sure the financial definitions are appropriate, and that the deal you negotiated is ultimately the deal that is papered and closed, and that's where you can really start to add value for your clients beyond just issuing the quality of earnings report.
Here are some findings that a purchaser would expect in a very good report. And usually a very good report distinguishes from a good report through some of the following ideas. Is one, the reports would cover industry and industry benchmarks and trends. The report would cover findings from other streams such as HR and IT and finance function and legal and things like that. The report would also include both positive and negative and risks, not just the negative risks, but also positive risks. You'd include also some scenario analysis. If you think about what's going on today, the reports would also include some recent information about recent trends, such as things on tariffs and interest rates and FX rates and where they're going. So the most important thing is the report must cover the needs of several stakeholders. Usually in my experience, they happen through doing less traditional quality of earnings procedures. So here's an example where we visited stores of a chocolate shop and asked employees about what they thought about working, and one of the employees told us, you know what, I like working here except for one thing, is the owners ask us to change the expiry dates on the breads here. So that was awkward. Another example is when you need to confirm your findings with ultimate customer surveys, and when the customers are less happy than what the seller tells you, that would be a problem. Another example, a third example, would be when we would have done a proof of cash exercise to prove that the revenue recognized equals the money that came in. We actually found out that there was double counting of revenue for every contract. So those were awkward situations that we ended up dealing in some other way in order to do a better deal.